Hello YouTube, WTFTD Gaming here, and today we are going to be recording Diablo. It is my build video of my Natalia's Fire build. So this is for Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls 2.2. This is not 2.3, so you do not have to worry. This is in the current version of Diablo, and this is not in the updated version of Diablo. So, let's get started. Now, this is a speed build, so this is meant for clearing Greater Rift 35 and below. I've not been able to solo clear a 35 plus. I cleared the 35 solo. After that, I need to have a buddy to tank for me, or I just need to have another demon hunter in general. So, I'm going to go ahead and go over the gear with you. This revolves around the Natalia's Vengeance set, and now let's go over the set bonus here of what makes this set good. The 2 set reduces the cooldown of Reign of Vengeance by 2 seconds when you hit with a hatred generating attack or a hatred spending attack. Now that's where stutter stepping comes in handy. Stutter stepping is when you use an ability and you switch right to another. So look what we're going to be doing. Now I'll explain what skills I'm using in a minute here, but what we're going to do is we're going to be going using our strafe and then evasive shot. We're going to be stutter stepping like that so we can proc this to give our cooldown to the Reign of Vengeance. So the 4th set is Reign of Vengeance just gets 100% increased damage, which is this bad boy here. Now, I'm currently actually still equipped with Anathema, which I actually didn't think I was. I'm going to go back to Night Stalker because that's what I had. But, so, basically, other than the Natalia set, I'm using homing pads. I'm using the Haunt of Vox, or Voxel or whatever, purely because just 20% fire skill damage, and the gem I have it is a Bane of the Trapped. I'm using Steady Strikers with 20% fire skill damage. You're going to want to roll 20% fire skill damage on anything. And I would recommend a Silver Coat, or not Silver Coat, Cinder Coat. But you have to wait for 2.3 to use Cinder Coat in this build because of the Canias Cube. So, the next weapon here that's going to be crucial to the fact that this is speed grifting and rifting is the Kamar 10 clip, which strafe basically gains the effect of the Drifting Shadow rune, which gives you a full movement speed, your regular movement speed, instead of halving it. And now, another vital thing for this build is going to be your rings, focus, and restraint. Now, the gems I have in those is the Taeguk rune, because we're going to be using so much spenders that you might as well have a Taeguk. And I'm also going to be using the focus. Now, as you can see here, my restraint is actually rolled strength, purely because I got this off of one of my other characters, because I really, really, really needed this extra restraint. And then this one's rolled dexterity, which is what a demon hunter uses. They roll off dexterity. And other than that, you're also going to want the Crashing Rain, which Reign of Vengeance also summons a Crashing Beast that deals 3,815% weapon damage. So, things you're going to want on your weapons is, as you can see, for my Natalia's Slayer, I have 10% damage, critical hit damage. For your gloves, you're going to want a crit hit damage and crit hit chance. For your shoulders, you're going to want as much dexterity and vitality as you can, and I also went with 10% life, so I have less of a chance of dying. Natalia's Embrace, I went with 13% life, in my opinion. I didn't re-roll the life off because I thought that, having life was good. So what I did was you're going to roll for Reign of Vengeance damage on your Natalia's Embrace. And as you can see, I got the perfect homing pads. I forgot to mention this. Reign of Vengeance damage is 15% on the homing pads. For your helmet, you're going to want crit hit chance. And you can put a diamond in here. I have a topaz in here because I was legendary farming for a calamity. You're going to want 20% fire skill damage on your amulet. 20% fire skill damage on your bracers, but also I recommend you get your crit hit chance, which mine came with crit hit chance. And for your Kamar 10 clip, you're going to want 10% damage, and then put an emerald in that, along with your Natalia's Slayer. For your rings, you're going to want crit hit damage and crit hit chance if you can, which sadly only my focus rolled that, but I recommend for both rings you get crit hit damage and crit hit chance. For your boots, you're going to want to roll for strafe damage. For your leggings, you're going to want evasive fire damage. And for your belt, I didn't really re-roll the belt because I honestly didn't feel it was necessary. Alright, so that's all the gear. Now we're going to go on to the skills. Your bread and butter for this build are going to be these 3 skills. It's going to be evasive fire with focus, which basically instead of backflipping, you generate more hatred. Your Strafe, Rocket Storm, which now it deals 130% weapon damage as fire, and it shoots off a rocket every now and then. And you're going to want Rain of Vengeance, and instead of Anathema, you're going to want Stampede, which mine is currently still on cooldown here. Sadly, I'm not hitting any enemies, so that's not going to do anything. Now, what else you're going to need is you're going to need Vault with Tumble, which after using Vault, 6 seconds after, you can do another Vault, and it only costs 50% of what it did. You're going to want Companion with Wolf Companion, which basically you now, as a passive, your Wolf Companion will attack in front of you for 150% of your weapon damage is physical. And you gain, for you and your allies within 60 yards of the wolf, you gain 30% increased damage for 10 seconds. And because I'm not using a Calamity, you're going to want Mark for Death Contagion, which basically, the mark spreads to the closest 3 enemies of 30 yards whenever you kill someone who's marked for death. And your passives are going to be Coal of the Weak, which increases damage against slowed or chilled enemies, which there's really honestly no need for this passive. Steady Aim, which as long as there's no enemies within 10 yards, you get 20% bonus damage. Awareness, this is your free res. There's nothing to it. If you die, you're going to spawn with 50% maximum life, and you're going to become invisible for 2 seconds. And then something really important, which is Night Stalker, which your primary skill generates an additional 4 hatred, which you're going to need because you're going to be spending a lot of hatred. So let's go on ahead, and I'm going to try and show you guys just like a basic, like how to play with this build. So, because it's speed rifting, you're going to be vaulting a lot. And now as you can see, I'm on Torment 6, pointing that out. I'm on the current highest difficulty for this version of the game. So as you can see, I'm actually still using Anathema, which I probably shouldn't be. Let me go on ahead and fill that up real quick. I forgot to say you're supposed to use Stampede, which you summon 10 Shadow Beasts across the ground, knocking back enemies and dealing 4,600% weapon damage as fire over 3 seconds. So, I'm not going to pick up the Pylon. I'm not going to pick up... Oh, I think we're getting the Nemesis. That's awesome. So, as you can see, Stampede, in my opinion, is much more effective than the Anathema. And you're also dealing good damage with your weapons. So, as you can see, I'm just shredding through Torment 6 Rifts. Don't even need to use Anathema for the weaker enemies. I can just run around, or I don't have to use Stampede for the weaker enemies. Pretty much run around. There's that Nemesis I was talking about that I felt coming. Alright, come here. And rip. You're dead. Pick what we got up here. Okay, those are some ancient Parthian defenders, I believe, that are a promising glory. I just got a glimpse, I didn't see. Again, you're going to be vaulting a lot because... Now, you don't need to keep up your Taeguk, but if you're vaulting 100% of the time, that's how you're going to keep your Taeguk. Which your Taeguk stacks are pretty much your survivability in a nutshell. So... Try and be using your strafe as much as humanly possible. I'm not, because I've had some experience with this build. Also, use your Vault if you really have to dodge out of the way of an enemy. If you think they're going to attack you and you feel like dodging out of the way, use Vault. And also use Vault just purely to get around. Oh, I might die right here just because I'm an idiot and ran straight in. Haha, that was fun. I almost died. So, as I said, you can also use this for clearing Greater Rift 35s plus. I'm just using a regular Rift as a demonstration to show how quick you can. I'm going to pick up the Speed Pylon. I said I wasn't going to pick up any Pylons, but this one doesn't give me an unfair advantage. It just makes me move quicker, which is kind of an unfair advantage if you look at it from a perspective. We're going to drop Mark for Death, and we're going to hit him. And as you can see, it spread to several of the near people. So as you can see, it is pretty much easy once you master how to stutter step, which is the annoying part when you're doing this right here. That's stutter stepping, and in my opinion, that's probably the hardest part about this build. And otherwise, it's just point and shoot. That's pretty much it. Other than stutter stepping, it's basically just point and shoot, which is the easiest part. So yes, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm going to go on ahead and be quiet here while I clear out this rift.
Too low on discipline.
Oh, we got Stone Boy for the Guardian. That's nice. Bye, Stone Boy.
Need more time.
Alright, so that was the video, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.